everyone. Welcome to Sacred Heart School Study Help Guide. This is your Mamta Miss. Welcome you all back to Part 3 class of Class 8 English to Literature, Chapter 1, The Adventure of the Speckled Pant. Earlier we have studied Part 1 and Part 2 class. I hope so you might have gone through it. So, recap of the previous class. To solve the mystery case of Julia Stoner, her sister Helen Stoner meets Sherlock Holmes. She introduces herself and speaks about her family. She speaks about her stepfather, Dr. Grimsby Rowlett. The twin sister Julia and Helen Stoner were 2 years old at the time of their mother's, Mrs. Stoner's, marriage. Helen's mother left her fortune with the provision of a certain annual sum be given to each of the girls on their marriage. Dr. Grimsby Rowlett, along with the twins, shifted to Old Manor House at Stockmoran after the death of Mrs. Stoner. A terrible change was seen in Dr. Grimsby Rowlett's behavior. He had a passion for Indian animals and had a cheetah and a baboon with him. So now let us read the remaining part of the chapter. This is your page 2. My sister Julia died just 2 years ago and it is of her death that I wish to speak to you. So you know, my dear students, that Helen Stoner is with the Sherlock Holmes now to speak about Julia Stoner. So she said that Julia died just 2 years ago and it is her death that made her to come and speak to him. Julia went to visit our aunt near Harrow 2 years ago and got engaged to an officer from the Marines there. My stepfather did not object to the marriage. So here, just 2 years ago, Julia Stoner went to near her aunt's house and there she engaged with an officer, Marine officer, and with their marriage, father did not object at all, means did not oppose. But within a fortnight of the day which had been fixed for the wedding, the terrible event occurred which has deprived me of my only companion. So here she says that there was only just 14 days for the wedding, for the marriage. Such an event took place in her life which made her away from the Helen Stoner, okay, who was only Julia Stoner was only the companion of Helen Stoner. Pray be more precise as to the details, said Holmes. So Holmes here requested that she should describe more accurately and briefly in detail all the story. Then she says here that fatal night my sister left her room next door to our stepfather's and came to mine. Tell me, Helen, she said, have you ever heard anyone whistle in the dead of the night? So, that particular night, where the death night, her sister, that is Julia Stoner, left her room, which was just near side of the stepfather's room, and she came near Helen Stoner. And she asked to Helen that have you ever heard such a whistle in the dead of the night? Never, I said. But why do you ask? Helen says, because during the last few nights, about 3 in the morning, I have heard a low, clear whistle. With that, she went to her room. A few moments later, I heard her key turn in the lock. So here, because during the last few nights, she was in the 3 in the morning, she was continuously hearing the whistle sound. And she said, and she left the room and she went to her own room. I could not sleep that night. I had a vague feeling that something terrible might happen. The wind was howling outside and the rain was beating against the windows. Suddenly there burst forth a wild scream in my sister's voice. As I opened my door, I heard a low whistle. So here, my dear students, that night Helen Stoner was not able to sleep because she was in confusion that something is going to happen. No, some feeling she has got. And so outside there was howling wind and the rain was beating to the windows, and suddenly with these two sounds again she heard a scream in her sister's voice, and when she opened the door she heard a low whistle, and my sister appeared at the door, her face blanched with the terror. So obviously in her face there was expression of what? Fear, fright with the terror. As she fell to the ground, she shrieked, "Oh my God, Helen, it was the band, the speckled band." So here, as she fell to the ground, that means who fell here? Julius Turner, isn't it? So when here Helen Stoner opened the door, she saw her sister fell to the ground and she shrieked. She shouted, "Oh my God, Helen! It was the band, the speckled band. Speckled band, I told you earlier, it is a poisonous snake." She pointed in the direction of our stepfather's room, but a fresh convulsion seized her and choked her words. So obviously she pointed towards whose room? Towards her stepfather's room, indicating some symptoms. But her voice was not able to come out. She was choked, and her words she was not able to speak. So I just want to show you the picture so that you can get a clear imagination about Helen Stoner and Julius Stoner. Here the picture comes, my dear students. You can see the two sisters, Helen Stoner and Julius Stoner. Julius Stoner is already bitten by the speckled bat, the poisonous snake, and as Helen Stoner opened the door, already she was in the ground. She fell down and she said, "Oh my God, Helen, it is the speckled bat," and pointed towards her stepfather's room, indicating some symbol, isn't it? And you can see in the picture the two sisters. The Julius Stoner is lying on the ground here on the floor, and Helen Stoner is just nearby her. You can imagine from this picture and you can understand the situation. So next we come here. So here you see, now she pointed in the direction of her stepfather's room, but a fresh convulsion seized her and choked her words. I rushed out, calling loudly for my stepfather. Who? Helen Stoner. She just called loudly to stepfather. He sent for medical aid from the village, but all efforts were in vain. Who sent here? The stepfather. He took to give a medical aid to his daughter, but everything was in vain. Everything has gone out. Nothing was possible there to save her life. 2 years have passed since then, and my life has been lonelier than ever. So earlier this one she spoke about her sister Julius Stoner. Now she is alone in her life. She is lonely. 2 years already passed. Now her life is lonelier than ever. But a month ago, a dear friend asked me to marry him. My stepfather has not opposed the match, and we are to be married in spring. So just a person, a dear friend, just gave a proposal to marry her, and stepfather did not oppose for that marriage proposal also, and they were about to marry in spring. 2 days ago, some repairs were started in my room, and I had to move into the chamber in which my sister died. That means some repair were going on in the room of the Helen Stoner, and she has to shift to Julius Stoner's room. Imagine my terror then, when last night I suddenly heard again the low whistle which had heralded my sister's death. That means when she shifted herself to Julius Stoner's room, the same thing is going on in her life again. Whatever was going on in the Julius Stoner's life, the same thing is repeating now. She heard the whistle which had heralded, means everything was recollected what Julius Stoner said. I sprang up and lit the lamp, but nothing could be seen. Nothing she was able to see. I was too shaken to go to bed again, and as soon as the day broke, I came here to ask for your advice. When she heard the whistle, she was really afraid, scared to go to bed, but when the morning arrived, she immediately came near Sherlock Holmes to take his advice. The meanings given, my dear, down. So it is, you can cover it. Go through this part. Whatever the question answers are related to these portions, you can do it by your own. And just wait for my next video. So stay safe, stay healthy.